I have in my hand a box from Pandemonium Tackle, and I reached out to Kevin after seeing the kind of success that my buddy Matt had on his SRJ, so the slow rise jerk, kind of dive and rise bait. And I didn't realize, but Pandemonium Tackle, the MARVIN 88 actually come onto my radar a year or two back. My buddy Patrick Feld was fishing with me, and he was using one of these bucktails. We were on Eagle Lake. We didn't get one in the boat that day, but that blade was moving fish everywhere we went. It was a tough day. I think I lost one on a growler, and Patrick lost a couple boat side that hit those late strikes. So not a fault of the bait. It was a really tough Eagle Lake day, but that put these baits, especially the bucktails, on my radar. And then just seeing Matt use the slow rise jerk, I was like, I got to reach out and see if I can get one. So I reached out. Kevin was kind enough to get me on his list and get me a couple baits. So I kind of picked out a few colors. I haven't opened them. I don't know what we're going to see in here. And right off the top, I see some bucktails. So we got some bucktails here. Let's get those out of the way. And here's the jerk. Oh, I see a bunch of leaders. What else have we got in here? Looks like we got some clothing of some type. And I see a couple decals. Let's get that out of the way. What do we got here? Pandemonium Tackle. That's a small. Pandemonium Tackle. That's a small. I know Kevin said he was going to send some stuff for my kids, so that's pretty cool. Here's another one. That's awesome. Couple more. Oh, that's really cool. I really appreciate that. Guys that are thinking, more than just the lures, and there's a couple more there. We won't go through all of them. Where I will start is with the ones that I reached out for initially. He sent some leaders, and in some of our correspondence, he said that this style of leader, I see it has solid rings, so I'm going to assume we're talking split ring connections, and I see split rings on here. This style of leader works best with this, so I'll either use the ones that Kevin give me, or I'll match them up to a stealth that we've been using this year. But either way, I'll make sure that I use the recommended leader, because there are baits where the recommended leader makes a big difference on the action of the bait. And of course, this one's hooked through the bag here. So let's see what we can do. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I got the first one out, and it is kind of a walleye-ish with a little bit of orange underneath. See, he's got the back hook teed, so it won't dig into the sides there. Front hook is teed as well, so it won't dig into the sides, and they'll actually hang at the right angle. So really cool looking bait. I mean, it looks, to me, it looks kind of like an old, I think, sand cat they were called. But clearly these work. A lot of guys have success on it, and I knew it was one that I was going to want to try eventually. So let's have a look at the other one. All right, so the other one, I said, give me your take on what would be like the classic perch. So this looks, I mean, kind of your dead-on perch pattern. Attention to detail is really great. I love the teed hooks, a little bit of split or shrink wrap on the split ring and the hook to keep it from flopping around too much. I mean, that's the kind of attention to detail that, really goes a long ways. Split ring already attached. Just a well-made, just absolutely well-made lure, and looking forward to getting these ones in the water. So let's head to the cabin. Let's check these ones out in the water, and we'll come back and we'll look at the bucktails. Hey guys, so I'm throwing this Pandemonium SRJ on my 9-foot Moab. Right now I have a ProRex 8-1. This season I'll be probably running a Okuma 7-1. And I have on the leader that Kevin sent with me. And the action I'm running here is just a real subtle action. So I'm just doing slight rod tip down pulls and then just picking up the slack line. So not very aggressive at all. Welcome back. Those SRJ look awesome in the water. Definitely going to be using those. I already see a couple spots where I think that style of lure will fit in with stuff that we already use, like the Suick, like the dipstick, and some of the new stuff we have, you know, over the last couple of years. But as we get more and more of these dive and rise style of baits, we start to find the little nuances that they have and where we can fit them in to situations. So well done on these things. These things are really great. So let's move on to the bucktails, and I'll start with the MARVIN 88s, which is the ones that kind of fell onto my radar. And actually this pattern right here, which is kind of a brown with a little bit of like that cranberry in there with the gold and brass blades. This was the one that Patrick was using on Eagle to great success. And it's actually got some weight. Like it's front heavy for sure. Definitely got a lot of weight up front. Again, attention to detail is really good. Shrink wrapped hook so the flash doesn't get caught in there. Cool stuff. Little bit of like a twister trailer tail on there. Cool stuff. Here's another one. This is, you know, more of that kind of fire tagger style pattern. This is another color that most would consider good for Eagle. That green base with, you know, a green and a gold blade. Really cool. This one is a MARVIN 7-8. So again, similar to the one I just showed you, but it's a cool looking little bait. Interested to see how that combination of blades works, but well built and got some weight to it for sure. Now I'll show you, he's got two here, MARVIN 8-inch. This one's a buck, so a bucktail. It's not as heavy as the bigger ones, but you know, it's got some weight to it as well. Really cool like that. And then he's got the same thing basically in the flash model. And this is that kind of Shumway green goblin-ish kind of pattern. Really cool. Couple here that I didn't know were coming that right away I can see will fit a hole in our arsenal. So I'll back up a second. So when we started using Dadson's years ago, before he had any affiliation or any connection with Johnny, Kyla had a bait called the Swing and Single. It was a single fluted 8 marabou base kind of bait. She did tremendously well on it. Sadly, she lost it behind her sister's cabin on Eagle Lake in the weeds, and she's always been kind of looking for that bait. We've tried to make her some stuff out of flash, but it's never really fit. I got a couple Dadsons that are close, but not quite. So when I open up the package and I seen these, and he calls them let me look on the bag here, the MARVIN Elite 8. So it's a single 8 marabou, shorter frame, obviously, but like this right here, I can guarantee this is going to fit right into Kyla's arsenal. And because we don't have anything, you know, in the Dadsons or any of the other blades that we use, I can see these ones instantly finding a spot in our arsenal. So of all of these, the MARVIN 88s look great. We're obviously going to get these in the water for you guys. We're going to head out to the lake and try and show you all of these. Hopefully we'll get footage of all of them for you. But looking forward to these little ones for sure. And that's the cool thing about these unboxings. You just really never know what you're going to see. And I love that these builders are willing to take a chance in sending us a couple extra things to try out. But yeah, right away, I'm like, yeah, these little Elite 8s. And this one right here, I can guarantee Kyla, once she sees this one's going to be gone. It won't be in my box at all. She'll have it tied on for the opening coming up here in a few days. So really cool. Thanks to Kevin. Appreciate all this. I appreciate all the support from all of you guys watching this kind of stuff. This is fun for us. So let's head out to the lake. We'll check out all these bucktails underwater, or the majority of them, and we'll come back here and I'll give you kind of my final thoughts on the Pandemonium Tackle. What were you throwing those on, Dave?
9.6 Chaos Tackle SWAT. The 7.1 Pro Rex is going to be my pretty much go-to bucktail setup this year, unless I'm chucking big blades, but it's pretty slick. I'll give it that.
Yeah, so for the most part, all the underwater stuff you see this year, especially bucktail related, Dave will be throwing on that.
Barbarian Braid.
Yeah, and on that one, you just had a fluorocarbon leader. So the Pandemonium Tackle is really cool. It's cool that I found it through a buddy that I was fishing with, and then I found it online through another buddy who we kind of conversed with, and then I reached out to Kevin, and he was more than willing to get something put together for us. So that's really cool. I did pay for some of this just so that we know, but Kevin sent some extras, so thank you for that. Check out this unboxing here, and like I've said, these unboxings are so cool because you just really never know what you're going to get inside of one of them. And you never know which one of these baits might become over the course of the year one of our top 5 baits of 2023. So we just got to wait and see what the season brings. But for now, 54 Bus is out of here. We'll catch you guys out on the water later.